Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dive right into the TestNG framework and get you from zero to running your very first automated test.
So let me start with a question for you. Have you ever felt kind of boxed in by your testing tools? You know, that feeling when you're trying to run tests in a specific order, or you're just wishing you could run them in parallel without some crazy complicated setup? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about. So, yeah, if those frustrations are hitting a little too close to home, you are in the right place. Let's pull back the curtain and meet the tool designed to solve all those headaches. What exactly is TestNG? At its core, TestNG stands for Test Next Generation. And yeah, it was inspired by the big names that came before it, like JUnit and NUnit. But here's the thing, the goal wasn't just to make a copy. It was to build on what they started and create something way more powerful and flexible, something that can handle everything from your simple unit tests all the way up to really complex integration test suites. Okay, so why should you actually care? What's in it for you if you decide to use TestNG over something else? Well, let's break down the superpowers you're about to unlock. And this isn't just about one tiny little improvement. TestNG is like a whole toolkit. You get these really powerful annotations, just think of them as simple labels you stick on your code, that give you fine-grained control. You get the ability to run tests in parallel, right out of the box, which can save you a massive amount of time. And it even generates these clean, easy-to-read HTML reports for you automatically. All right, enough talk, right? Theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. Let's move on to the how and see just how easy it is to get this thing set up in your own environment. If you're an Eclipse user, this is going to be super straightforward. You just pop into the Install New Software menu, add the TestNG repository, click to install the plugin, and after a quick restart, you're good to go. And for all you IntelliJ folks out there, you've got it even easier. The TestNG plugin is already built right into the IDE. All you have to do is hop into your project structure and make sure the TestNG library is enabled for your project. Seriously, that's it. It couldn't be simpler. Okay, setup's done. Now for the fun part. Let's actually write some code and see this thing in action. It's time to create our very first test script. So how do we tell TestNG that something is a test? It all comes down to this one simple line, the @test annotation. You can think of it like a magic wand. You just place this little tag right above any method, and you've basically told the framework, hey, this method right here, it's a test case. I need you to run it. It's literally that simple. And this really gets to the heart of what makes TestNG so great. You don't have to inherit from complex base classes or follow rigid naming rules that just make your code a mess. That one @test annotation does all the heavy lifting, which keeps your test code super clean, independent, and just plain easy to understand. Okay, here we go. This is the payoff, the moment of truth. Let's run the code we just wrote and see what happens. So you've got a couple of ways to do this, and they're both super easy. For a quick check, you can literally just right-click inside your test file and choose Run as TestNG Test. If you need more control, especially when you have a whole bunch of tests, you can use a special TestNG.xml file to organize your test suite. But for now, we'll just do the simple right-click. And boom, there it is. That gorgeous green pass message. This little line is your confirmation that TestNG found your test, ran it, and everything finished without a single error. That's a huge milestone. In just a few minutes, you've successfully run your first automated test. Okay, so we ran one simple test. Big deal, right? Well, actually, yeah, it is. To really see why this is such a game changer, let's put TestNG head-to-head with the old guard, JUnit, and see how it stacks up. I mean, just look at this. It's night and day. Where older frameworks felt a bit limited, TestNG just blows the doors open. It gives you a whole suite of powerful annotations and built-in dependency management. That means you can finally tell your tests, hey, don't run until this other test passes, which, if you've ever done integration testing, you know is an absolute lifesaver. And of course, there's native support for parallel execution, letting you run tons of tests at once to slash your build times. These aren't just small tweaks. They really change how you can structure and speed up your entire testing workflow. And just like that, you did it. You've gone from setup to success. In just a matter of minutes, you've installed the framework, written a real test case, and actually executed it. You now have a working TestNG environment ready for whatever you decide to throw at it next. But honestly, we've only just scratched the surface. Running a simple test is step one. And that brings us to our final thought. We've used the basic @test annotation, but what about all the other powerful tools like @beforetest, @aftertest, or @data provider? Which of these are you going to master next to totally transform your testing workflow?